Well, as you might imagine, preserving the quality of water in the Northlands is an important thing for people up in this part of the state. That's because lakes can't protect themselves. And two Minnesota conservation groups recently hosted a meeting to talk about doing just that in Pequot Lakes. Our Scott Sheehan tells us tonight how the groups say it's up to everyone to protect the lakes.
Keeping the water blue. That's the goal of two groups studying the lake quality in our area. The Crow Wing Soil and Water Conservation District, SWCD, is teamed up with the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, MPCA, to find out what the water quality is in Pequot Lakes area.
We just completed a study that has identified sort of hot spots of pollution, and we gathered people to talk about those hot spots and get their input of other areas that may be contributing to these water resources, and talk about potentials of what we can do to improve the water quality of this area.
SWCD and MPCA held a meeting last night at Pequot Lakes Library to engage the community into that study.
Without the study, we don't know exactly the locations and where the problems are.
We're at that kind of a point where we need to address some problems that both internally on our own lake, and then probably looking at some watershed issues too, and address this issue just as quickly as possible and see hopefully some results.
Residents on Sibley and Mayo Lake say they'd like members of the Gull Lake Association to help them fight contaminants like algae and runoff on their lakes before it ends up in Gull Lake.
One of the things that we're very concerned about is the water quality and the livability of the lake that we live on, not only of Sibley Lake, but Mayo Lake, which is just downstream and all the way to Gull.
Our water ends up in Gull Lake, and therefore it behooves all of us to work together to improve the entire chain of the lakes.
SWCD says Sibley and Mayo Lakes aren't meeting Minnesota state standards for water quality.
The amount of plants in the lake, if you go swimming, it's a problem. If you go fishing, it's a problem. If we can find a way to make life on the lake a little more pleasant for everyone, that's what we should do.
After the Crow Wing Soil and Water Conservation District and Minnesota Pollution Control Agency gather their information, they'll start developing a plan that will hopefully lessen future contaminants from running into the Gull chain of lakes. Scott Sheehan, Lakeland News.
Gull Lake currently is infested with zebra mussels and is at risk of being polluted with Sibley and Mayo Lakes contaminants.
If you've enjoyed this segment of Lakeland News, please consider making a tax-deductible contribution to Lakeland Public Television.